looking for Mr. X?
He has to pay for what he did to Sylvia. What he did to me.
What about what the Cyprian Order did to Marion?
Back off, Stu.
You were so busy pining over a dead girl, you didn't even notice the living one right in front of you.
Back off, Stu!
Will the Cyprian Order get in Nightblade's way? Or is it open season on X? As Nightblade seeks revenge, X is on the run, and Nightblade's closing in.
Mr. X!
Josh Berg stars as Nightblade. The marathon continues this fall on Channel 12.
I got you here.
Like an action-adventure movie, citizens of Steelport are being terrorized by a giant boulder. The several-ton object escaped from an office building downtown when the cables for a counterweight snapped and sent this rolling ball of death out into the streets.
I got stuff to do.
Though an elevator was crushed during the fall, rescue workers
Let's do it again sometime.
were able to pry apart the metal to determine if anyone was inside. The presence of what appeared to be blood suggested the worst. At this time, city officials are uncertain how this new menace will be removed before more people find themselves crushed under its enormous weight. This is Jane Valderrama with your Steelport Terror Report.
This week on Nightblade, Stu and Nightblade are torn as
For most people, sexual fetishes are left in the bedroom or the brothel. However, citizens here in Steelport were recently exposed to the darker side of the equestrian world. Several pony carts were used as getaway vehicles during a shootout on the streets of the city. The carts, pulled by people dressed in leather straps and wearing bridles, turned the heads of both the disgusted and the aroused. Not one witness could give a description of the drivers who were shooting each other, most stating they were too busy trying to figure out how the horsetails were attached. This is Jane Valderrama with your Steelport recreational news.
This week on Nightblade, see how it all began as Nightblade relives his past with the Cyprian Order.
I wasn't always like this. I was a man once. Man with a purpose.
My son, you now hate the super blades, Nocta and the sun, and with them bring righteous fury to the damned.
Yes, Cardinal.
Welcome to the Cyprian Order.
And meet the other woman that filled the void Sylvia left in Nightblade's heart.
Nightblade, you know you feel the same way I do.
I do. The Cardinal would forbid it.
To hell with him.
But when Nightblade is turned into...
I'm taking off now.
Vowed to destroy, his world is turned upside down.
Nightblade was our brother, but the ruler of the battles. He has become one of the damned. For that, must send him screaming into hell.
The lovers become enemies.
God damn it, Candace! I love you!
I'm sorry, my love.
Candace!
Josh Berg stars as Nightblade. The Season 1 marathon continues this fall, only on Channel 12.
Prostitution. Most people see the danger from this oldest of professions as being a venereal one. However, in downtown Steelport, the danger was far more disturbing. A penthouse party turned into a bloodbath as seemingly regular hookers pulled more than lube from their bags. Police report that the women entered the premises with the intent to kill all the partygoers, only to be gunned down themselves. Many lonely customers will be left alone on the streets of the city tonight. This is Jane Valderrama with your Steelport Vice News.
Changed his life forever.
Want the same thing. To stop the vampires that stalk the night.
Then meet the sun with grace and dignity.
I'm different, Cardinal. You know that.
For now, but eventually your hunger will rise, and you will be no different than Mr. X.
It's teacher versus student, as two men of conviction refuse to back down.
I had no choice. Oh, God, no!
Josh Berg stars as Nightblade. The Season 1 marathon continues this fall, only on Channel 12.
Has a moral crusader infiltrated the Steelport sex scene? This is the question asked by Viola DeWinter, owner of the sex club Safe Word. An adult auction turned bloody as a nude gunman besieged the popular night spot, liberating the prostitutes being held there. These ladies of the night wasted no time in exacting a bloody revenge on their former pimps. One survivor described the scene as a riot of rabid bitches trying to cut off my cock. For that lover of the alternative lifestyle, it seems, things have gotten too extreme. This is Jane Valderrama with your Steelport Swingers Scene News. With the hope of an impromptu fireworks display, people looked up, only to see falling gun shells raining down into their eyes. The apparent theft of a cargo container gave citizens a scare as gunfire was heard in the skies above Steelport. Several helicopters flew through the city, dodging bullets coming from rooftops throughout the area. The contents of the container are unknown, though several people on the ground report it was leaking what they describe as smelling like urine. This is Jane Valderrama with your Steelport Import News. As if Steelport was an enemy nation, military vehicles rolled into the streets while troops deployed all over the city. This invasion of armed forces, known as the Stag Initiative, vows to end the death and destruction that has plagued our streets. Upon their arrival, a raid was conducted on a popular nightclub where the head of one such criminal organization was said to be hiding. Several people were shot and killed in the ensuing firefight, while property damage is estimated in the hundreds of thousands. This is Jane Valderrama with your Steelport Safety Update. What rebellious teenager didn't go joyriding in their parents' car, blowing off steam and staining the back seat? However, the theft of a military aircraft caused more than a 2-week grounding. The unknown suspect unloaded the plane's weapons onto both Stag outposts and city streets, destroying millions in military and civilian vehicles and property. Roadblocks were destroyed entirely, and a public park was filled with the bodies of the soldiers who tried to stop the chaos. This is Jane Valderrama with your Steelport.
We'll hang later.